Welcome to the Good Games Podcast, episode number 208. This is the show, of course, we talk about video games and video game-related things. I'm your host, Alex Nunez, and I'm back after a short hiatus. But I'm not alone. I brought some friends we haven't talked to in a pretty long time. Hello to Geek Mythology Crafts, Vil and John. How you guys doing?
Hello. Doing good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a while since... I think I looked at the records, and it's been almost like a year since either of you have been on, which is a dang shame.
Well, I think I was last involved in the tournament.
That might be right. No, I think Bad Games might have happened before that or after that.
Oh yeah, Bad Games, and then I did do a interview with Frank.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it has been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys been up to stuff. I don't know if you want to talk at the top about like some of these new things, but you've been doing some Twitch streaming lately. I'm like, that's fucking pretty cool, and I think you're nailing it too. You're doing a really good job with that stuff.
You.
So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and maybe pimp your little Twitch streaming stuff going on.
Yeah, well, since January, I got into on the Twitch bandwagon, and it's a pretty fun bandwagon, I must say. I am currently streaming both video games and my creative stuff, my crafting and artwork and stuff like that. And Jack here has also done a little bit of streaming, just a little
bit.
I streamed some Horizon Zero Dawn, and I also have my own drawings that I do that I have streamed a very little bit. But
yeah, you need to do it more. Let's put it that way. It is a lot of fun. It's a great way to meet people who love video games, who love art, who just kind of hang out and chat and have a good time. So I'm really glad that I got into it.
Hey, I had fun doing the Horizon Zero Dawn stuff, even though it was on the PlayStation, where I couldn't really interact with people much.
Yeah,
it was like it was like everyone was coming through that weird.
Oh, it's like voice. A robot who like read the chat.
And then I found out apparently people don't like that.
What?
But
really?
I'm like, oh, I don't. Yeah, no, I had people like, can you please turn off that stupid robotic voice? I'm like, I can't tell that you're chatting with me otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
It's a little challenging to do it on the PlayStation.
I didn't have like a tablet or anything with me to look at the chat.
Not even your phone, man? You just load up the chat.
I didn't. This was when we first started getting into it, and I didn't realize to do it.
Ah, okay. That's fair enough. But yeah, like every time I tune into either of your guys' channels, it seems like it's you guys having a good time. It's a nice chill stream. Yeah. Easy to jump into and just hang out. It's I enjoy it very much.
Except when I rage in Overwatch, which I haven't done lately.
Well, have you played Overwatch lately? That's the other question.
I played it a little bit once they dropped the new patch with Symmetra changes.
Okay.
And it's still as ragey. I really need to play like with people I know. That just really cuts the rage down considerably. But when you're by yourself, it's just like, oh my god,
the salt just
what is going on here? Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I think the last time I played was the anniversary event, of which I only opened the first free loot box, and that was it. That was the last time I touched Overwatch.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I forgot to buy my exiting loot box.
Yeah.
Whenever an event comes in, I always buy at the beginning and I buy at the end.
Okay.
And I did not buy at the end because I just found myself...
I literally can't buy loot boxes anymore because I just have so much stuff. I'm afraid of just buying dupes.
Oh, yeah.
At this point.
You gotta wait until like a new hero comes out and then, get all the stuff that way.
Yeah.
That's about that.
I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But how about we just move into, games that we've been playing, showcase some of the things that we've been, that have been on our playlists. So how about we start with you, Vil? What have you been playing lately that you want to talk to us about?
Well, I haven't been playing too many games lately, but Steam sale is up.
Yeah.
And that means I gotta open my wallet and just buy stuff for no good reason. Mm-hmm. But when you do that, you find some really cool gems. And I had a few games on my wish list for like ages that I was just kind of like, I don't know if I want to spend money on this.
Right, yeah.
And then when it goes on sale, you're like, okay, bam, done. Mm-hmm. And I found one that I guess is a couple years old called Epistory Typing Chronicles.
Okay.
And it was just kind of intrigued me because it was a game about typing, or in which your input is pretty much typing.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like, if you remember from a million years ago, Typing of the Dead.
Right.
And I can't actually think of any other games that were like that.
Mario teaches typing?
I mean Mario teaches typing, yeah. But, that was more of like an educational experience, I guess.
Right. Yeah. There was no game around it.
The gameplay was kind of limited or non-existent. But this is actually like, I don't want to call it like a tower defense, but it's sort of like an adventure game, RPG, and sort of like monsters will kind of like converge on you. You'll stand in one area and they're sort of coming at you, and you need to type the words over the monster in order to defeat them.
Okay.
And it sounds kind of like, well, okay, that's a little weird, but it's actually super fun. It's really good. And the artwork on this game is really amazing. It's all sort of like origami paper folding, and the worlds will fold out very intricately. As you unlock stuff. So it's really, really beautiful. I like it a lot, and I don't know if I would ever have tried it if it wasn't for the Steam sale. But I'm glad I did, and I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of RPG elements. You level up your abilities, and it's cool because it's not so simple you're just typing like words, but you'll have to switch like elements. So far I have fire and ice, and you have to, each element has a different quality. So the ice will freeze the enemies and make them go slower as they come towards you. Fire will actually burn away the next word slowly, so you might not even have to type. Like, the words will stack, like 3 on top of each other. You type the bottom one, you type the second one. But if you set something on fire, the word will actually slowly burn away, so you could, like, move on to another monster and start typing that word, and while you're doing that, the word on the first monster you were attacking has already disappeared. Right. So it's kind of like a damage over time thing. So it's actually really intricate, despite being a game about typing.
Right, yeah. So, how do you, I guess, use the spells? Do you have to type something specific, or is there like a keyboard shortcut?
You actually type fire for fire, and then ice for ice. And the game is kind of set up in a way where as soon as you type a letter, it'll kind of look around the enemies, and if anything has that same letter, it'll start it for you. So you could have like a bunch of different options of what you actually want to attack. But to activate the different powers, you just type the name of the power.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there like an involved story too, if it's like an RPG or anything like that?
It's actually very interesting. You're a young girl who's riding on a 3-tailed fox. So
okay.
Screw you, Tails. This one's got one more tail.
Tails is obsolete. Sorry, Miles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're totally
But
obsolete.
1/3 away from QB.
That's true. That's true. This is an intermediate fox that you're riding on. And it sort of seems like you have amnesia, which is a little tropey.
Right.
But it's, you kind of, it works because as you are unraveling the paper world, you're sort of remembering like where you grew up, people you knew, and it's very vague so far. I've only put maybe 2.5 hours into it. But the neat thing is that you can find, like, sort of artifacts of your memory, and there's a gallery, and there's like 3 or 4 artifacts for each area that you travel to, and it'll slowly reveal elements in a picture that kind of give you clues as to this person's history.
Okay.
But even just playing like 2.5 hours, I actually don't really know what's going on still, so it's very mysterious, which is cool. So it kind of keeps you playing to kind of figure out, what's going on with this girl, where does this fox come from that she's riding on, all kinds of stuff. Okay. So yeah, it's very cool.
That's dope. Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I still don't find amnesia in video games to be that bad of a trope, considering especially if it's a fantastic world that you have no experience in. It kind of gives you a decent area to drop in and learn about it yourself as the character is learning about it.
Yeah.
Or relearning.
It's definitely a necessary thing in a lot of stories, and it doesn't feel like forced or bad in this. And there's also voiceover. So as you're walking along, the dialogue that the narrator, presumably, it's not really yourself, but it's somebody who's kind of omniscient about what your character is.
More
And
mysteries.
the words, yeah, exactly. The words kind of appear on the ground, and then it's narrated. So there's voice acting, so that's also very nice.
Okay, dope.
Yeah. So the other game that I picked up, which has also been on my wish list for like ever for some reason, is called Weapons Shop Fantasy. And this is just kind of like, I don't know. This is one of those games where you either look at it and you're like, what is this crap? Why would anybody play this? Or you get completely addicted.
Right.
I am the latter. I just put in like 8 hours in like 1 or 2 days on this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just could not stop playing it. It's basically like a game. There's a couple games like this where you, instead of being the hero, the adventurer, you are a shop owner.
Okay. This sounds familiar.
Yeah, there was a game like years ago called Reciteer, where you were like this young girl whose family or her dad owed a huge debt. Pretty much these games all have the same story. It all starts with a humongous debt, like Tom Nook worthy debt, because you're never going to actually get your own money. It's all about paying back the debt.
Mm-hmm.
So, you would meet these adventurers, and then you would send them out into a dungeon to fight monsters and get materials, and, then you would build... Well, actually, I don't think Reciteer you actually made weapons. You just sold stuff that you found.
Okay.
In this game, Weapon Shop Fantasy, you actually craft. You do a lot of crafting.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different... There's like a forge, there is a blacksmith table, and just like a wood crafting table, and you actually make stuff out of the materials that your adventurer staff brings back. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a clicker game where you're not really doing anything, but I guess the crafting is really the most involved thing that you're doing. But the story is so quirky. I think this is like a Chinese game, so it's not translated very well at all, but I think that's what makes it hilarious.
Right.
Like, it's just... The poor translation just adds to it, and it's so quirky. Like, you're a vampire who got kicked out of their castle by a mysterious hero named Belmont, because of course. And for some reason, the solution to this is you running a weapon shop, because your other vampire friend has kind of been lending you money so you can just live, I guess. I don't know. You know how these things go.
Sure, live in quotations.
Yeah, live in quotations. Yeah, I mean, even vampires need to pay the rent, apparently. But apparently your character is really bad at managing money, so you owe this other vampire a lot of money, a lot of gold. So basically you are just crafting things, and you have to equip your adventurer with the things you craft, but you also have to sell stuff to get money to pay this other guy back. So it's like a mess. And you actually watch your adventurers walk sort of from left to right. It's not very advanced graphics at all. It's just sprites. Okay. But it's actually very, you can have up to 4 adventures going on at the same time. So it's a lot of micromanaging, and you can switch between them out in the field and you in your workshop. And it's just a lot of moving around screens and clicking, but it's really fun to me anyway. Okay. It's a lot of fun. It's very engaging, and it's cute. So if you like clicking on stuff, and it's one of those games that was $7, and I couldn't be arsed to spend $7. But when it was $4, man, yep, I was like, yeah.
That's what it is sometimes. Sometimes you just pass a certain threshold, and you're like, okay, I'll do it for that.
Absolutely.
Don't even...
I have a thing with
LA Noire.
Not to get off topic, but LA Noire. I'm like, when it goes under $5, I'll buy it. And
I keep telling her it's $4.99, and she's like, "No, there's taxes." And,
when I'm literally only spending $4.99, that's when I'll buy it.
I was doing the same thing with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I'm like, if that thing goes to $20, I'm in. That thing has not gotten below $30. I'm like, nope. Can't. No. I've made my decision. I'm gonna stick to it.
But yeah,
that's cool. Weapon Shop Fantasy is the crafting any different, gameplay wise, or is it still just clicking on stuff and?
It's still clicking basically.
It's kind of like a Facebooky.
Not really. The thing is that each each workstation can only you can only queue 3 items at a time, but this is something that you can upgrade. So you just need to kind of keep working towards getting money to upgrade your workshop to kind of make things go a little faster, and you can automate things. So it's just kind of one of those. It's a little bit grindy,
right?
Cook serve delicious, but with weapons.
Yeah,
you gotta, you're like, craft this sword. Watching the bar go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, oh wait, the sword is being made. Let me go down here and make this armor.
Yeah, actually, I'll give you that. It's a lot of like
it's a plate spinning game.
Going. Yeah,
I upgraded the deep fryer. let me deep fry some armor.
Basically, but I don't know. It really kind of just gripped me. I'm sure if somebody would look at that and be like, "Why are you wasting your time doing this?" But it is just. It's fun. It's addictive.
That's what matters, man. As long as you're having fun with it.
Absolutely. And it's cute. Cute and quirky.
Okay.
I'm all for it. So yeah, that is my Steam sale adventures.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her on Moonlighter, which also is another weapon shop owning, but has more of like a dungeon crawling, like Zelda-esque.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough of those games now that it can be a genre. Like, hey, you're not the adventurer, you're the guy that sells the stuff to the adventurers.
Yeah.
Well, though, in all of them, you are still doing some form of adventuring yourself.
Yeah. I mean, some of them you can actually control the adventurers and like go spelunking or whatever. But I actually really like the concept of those sorts of games. So I do hope they make more of them. I would definitely play them.
Okay. Very cool. So I guess that's it for you, Vil. What about you, Jack? You got anything you want to talk about? Any games you've been playing?
Well, I guess to talk about a game I've been playing, I guess first I have to say For the Horde.
Okay.
Get that out of the way first.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be talking about some WoW, some World of Warcraft.
Oh boy.
We sadly sold our souls once again. Somehow we keep selling our souls. I didn't know I can get it back to sell again, but that seems to be what the case is.
You pay a little bit extra for that to get the soul back, and then you can in turn sell it back. Yeah. That's how it works.
Basically. You see, technically the subscription's $12. But then they add additional $3 on for the finder's fee for your soul.
Yep, there you go. There it is.
That's how it works.
But they are finishing up the Legion expansion, and come next month, I believe on August 14th, they are opening up Battle for Azeroth, which is currently in the public testing realms and in beta.
Okay.
And coming, I believe, what sounds like possibly next Tuesday is the pre-patch for it, meaning that a lot of the basic mechanics and gameplay changes are going to be applied to Legion that are coming in the next expansion.
I love me some quality of life updates.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And so we've been trying to gear up for that.
Okay.
Me and Wilhelmina both. We've been trying to get our characters up there to max level, try to be level, item level high enough where we don't just get slaughtered in the new content. Because Battle for Azeroth is adding a lot in, and they're changing a lot of things up, so it's definitely a good time to jump in. Such things like war mode, where rather than, you press / PvP and you're like, oh look, I'm now open to be ganked.
Please gank me.
Please gank me. Or unless you're on a server that's always PvP. Now they got rid of all that. And now you go to your major town, your major city, and just select on war mode.
Oh, okay.
And now you're PvP all throughout the world. And you have to go back to the town to turn it off.
Oh. Okay.
But you can do this at any level now, and now it level scales, meaning a level 60 can contend with a level 120.
Dope. Okay.
Granted, there'll be some curve there because, more skills and whatnot, but they'll actually scale them so they're actually, can fight.
You might not have like the armor and ability synergy that the 120 level guy would. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I get that.
Yep, because before it was like, why am I PvP? I'm only level 60. Oh god, that guy's level 80 and killed me in one hit.
Exactly.
And he's now sitting on my corpse and won't let me quest.
Jesus.
Now that's no longer a thing.
Okay, that's good. I don't know. I've always been like MMO curious, and WoW's kind of been in there, but I don't know. It's like I don't know if I can delve in.
We can always refer a friend. That is the thing. It gets you shiny stuff.
Shiny stuff, shinies.
I don't know. I feel like I collect plenty of shinies in Destiny. I'm like I delete most of those anyways.
I'm sorry. Did you say collecting?
Yep.
Oh man, let me tell you about collecting.
Tell me about it.
Did you know World of Warcraft has a whole pet battle system that's kind of basically like Pokemon?
I've heard of it, yep.
That actually has more creatures in it than Pokemon, I think, at this point.
Is that possible?
That is a tall
I think
order.
it legitimately does by this point.
No
Pokemon
way.
is like more than 700. They've passed 700 at this point.
WoW, pet-wise, category-wise, is at least pushing...
I gotta check those numbers.
It's several hundred. It is several hundred.
It's
okay.
Within contention, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Also, the transmog system. Basically, you can take you can be like, hey, I'm running around in a level 120 gear. Oh, but I really love the way that level 24 chess piece looked.
Yeah.
Well, let me go find it, either through dungeon or auction house, buying it from another player, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the transmog vendor and say, my 120 piece armor now looks like this level 24
This
thing.
crap from 2005.
So you could build a whole entire wardrobe with, I think, like leather chest pieces, for example. There's like 750 of them,
Right.
or something like that.
Jeez.
The game has a lot of content.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's been going for like, 14 years now? I'd imagine that's the case.
Yep.
I just leveled up my fishing skill to 800.
Okay. Is there a limit to your fishing skill? Or does it just keep going up?
It was 800. Oh, no, current maximum is 800.
Okay.
And I have collecting to do with that. I have gotten a legendary artifact fishing pole through hours of work.
For whatever reason, it decided
because it's
to do
awesome.
this.
Because
There's working quotes there?
Yeah.
The fishing rod actually is the skeleton of a creature.
Oh shit!
With its skull attached and stuff.
I can get behind that.
Cool.
That's pretty dope.
I'll give
Yeah.
you that. Looks
Yeah,
cool.
and there's tons more collecting I can do with that. The game definitely has a lot of different elements to it. So if you're MMO curious, that's not a bad one to jump in. Okay. Especially since it's been there forever.
Yeah, it's been around forever, but it also costs money, which is my other fear. It's like that's another like bridge I have to pass. Like, do I want to pay for this? I know it starts out for free. Like you can play up to some level or whatever before you decide 20. To pay. But yeah, once you pass that point, I'm like, oh god, now I gotta make the decision. Do I commit?
I mean, yeah, and once you do, you commit.
Yeah.
Then the thing is, though, once you make enough money, you can technically pay for your subscription with in-game gold.
Unfortunately, that is a lot of money right now, though. Let's be really honest.
Wow.
So if you're good at working the economy and the auction house,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you can pay for your own account.
Jeez. Sounds like Eve in that way. You can pay for your Eve subscription just with like doing stuff in the in-game economy. Mm-hmm. Like, okay.
Yep.
Jesus. All right.
Yep, and so right now me and Vil have been trying to work out what characters to be as well, because we have like 13 characters each.
Okay.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Oops.
Times like this makes me glad that Destiny only limits you to 3 characters.
Yeah, that makes.
Oh no!
Easier.
Wow! No, they keep increasing it, especially now with allied races, where now they have rather than the 6 per side per faction. Now it's like 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they add in allied races, which are kind of like sub races. Like, rather than being an orc who's a green skin, you could be a Maga orc who is brown skin. But it also has its own lore and new racial abilities and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, man.
And now you could be a fat human.
Yeah, what? Fat human is its own race.
That wasn't an option before?
No,
fat human's its own race.
Jeez. Okay. Well, at least like now they're diversifying, I guess, the characters.
Yeah, basically.
Oh God! But WoW is in full swing, huh?
Yeah, this is a good time to jump in. It sounds like.
Hint, hint.
Wait, we gotta wait for that whisper.
But what if I like them Alliance boys?
Oh man!
Then I'm
we
sorry.
can't be friends anymore, dude. I'm sorry.
Friends don't let friends play Alliance.
Dang.
No, Alex, you strike me as an undead guy for some reason.
Undead.
Okay, I have.
You see the undead, you do /dance, see them do the head banging,
Yeah,
throw up
pretty-
the horns and stuff, and you'd be like, I'm sold.
Cool.
All right.
I can see that for some reason.
I can get behind that for sure.
But the nice thing is that the Alliance and the Horde, they are not good versus evil.
Okay.
So the Horde, while our current war chief is kind of ridiculously morally gray
Mm-hmm.
because she is crazy, she is like this is like our fourth war chief.
Yeah,
Throughout the whole MMO,
we go through them like
we
potato chips.
go through them pretty quickly.
Wow. Okay.
No, but the Tauren, honorable warriors. They're very much based off like Native Americans. They kind of got the whole like commune with nature and stuff like that. Even orcs are honor bound warriors. Yeah, a bit barbarian, but
Right.
honor bound.
Okay.
Yeah, you got goblins who are money grubbing. You got the undead who basically
They're bad.
they're kind of questionable. You got the blood elves who are just like elves.
They're just elves.
They're ex
bad
mana
elves.
addict elves.
Yeah.
Ex mana addict elves.
Okay.
And yeah.
Can you be a Murloc?
No.
Soon. I'm just kidding.
See, you know what a Murloc is. You know what a Murloc is.
I think I do. I just know from Hearthstone. That's about all I know about Murlocs.
Yeah.
And also there's one in Overwatch.
Is
There's
there?
a Murloc in Overwatch. Oh,
In
in
Blizzard?
Hanamura.
At Hanamura,
Yeah.
you look up, like the second you walk out of the offensive spawning area, you look up,
Mm-hmm.
there's Murloc ramen or something like that.
Oh.
And it's a giant Murloc with a bowl of ramen.
Okay. I would have expected it in that Blizzard World map.
Oh, well, they got tons
Yeah,
of
probably
wild stuff
have
there too,
some
but no, they. You could dress up like a Murloc.
It's the next.
Oh, they got
best thing.
toys. You can collect toys.
Uh-huh.
There are like 500 different toys
God,
that all do
man.
fun little mechanics.
It sounds so daunting. If someone like me were to
Collect
just
mounts?
get in there.
You can collect mounts.
What?
I have a motorcycle mount. I
Okay.
have a flying gyrocopter mount.
Mm-hmm.
I have the mount that is basically how in the world do we flying mana ray? It's like a manta ray, but it's with mana and it flies.
Okay. Jesus.
If you can think of it, it
Yeah,
probably is.
I have a giant fox mount.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could be like the character from Epistory.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Add another tail or two.
Also,
Yeah, right?
and there are, I think they have 500 mounts now
Wow.
because they got an achievement where if you collect 400,
Yeah, right.
Mm.
they got an achievement and a special mount for if you get 400.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Wow.
Yep, that's right there in the
You
name.
nailed it. You nailed it.
All I know about WoW lore or Warcraft lore is from that movie that they made, and I regret watching that.
You know, to be honest with you, actually, lore-wise, it actually wasn't bad.
Uh-huh.
It kind of actually, like, told a correct story.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit different, a little bit here and there. But the thing is, though, it's like, if you were not familiar with it,
Yeah, like I was.
it went so... It goes so fast. But
Yeah.
if you're familiar with it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm following everything exactly that's going on.
Uh-huh.
It'd be cool if you went more in depth, but I know exactly what the hell's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I actually kind of enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, that seemed to
To
be the
some
good
degree.
case. Like I was walking out of people who, when I saw the movie in the theaters, like there were a lot of people with like Blizzard's hats and like super like hardcore Blizzard fans. They're like, "Yo,
Yeah.
that movie was so dope," and I'm like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, it also covers Warcraft 1,
Yeah.
which, that is like, oh my god, 25 years old now, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that lore has been changed a little bit, and the movie actually kind of took that and kind of
Did it?
okay with it.
Okay, I was about to say, did it unretcon stuff?
No. It actually stuck with the retcons, though it did add in like one or two major elements that are not even in current game.
Okay.
So I mean, it wasn't terrible. I'm still waiting for China to fund the sequel.
Oh god.
Right.
Yeah. Did it do
was
well
like
over
the
there?
highest Oh, that's like, it was like the highest grossing movie ever in China for a little while.
Wow.
They like their WoW over there.
Yeah, they
man.
really
They
like
love it.
WoW over there.
I mean, they farm for gold over there, I guess, right?
They do.
They have an amusement park over there. Like, Blizzard World is pretty much a thing there.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
I did not know
this
that.
was a couple years ago. Yeah. Granted, Blizzard did not okay it.
Right.
So it's a knockoff, as many things are.
But they basically but they created a lot of like the architecture and stuff like that, and this other thing. And apparently, Blizzard eventually was like, "Okay, I know we know we can't stop you from doing this, so we're gonna try to get on board with this."
Slightly defeatist, but probably the smart thing to do.
Right, yeah. Because what is the alternative? It's going to be an ugly battle, and no one's going to win.
Oh. And also, the movie kind of starred, Hrothgar, or I'm sorry, what's his name, from Vikings.
Why did I forget? Ragnar.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he was
Vikings,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a poor use of his talent, but yes.
Yeah, it's
he
poor
was
use of his
in
talent,
it.
but
Yeah.
probably killed his movie career.
Womp womp.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, well. Hopefully that bounces back. But, I don't know. Anything else to say about World of Warcraft?
No, I said more than enough. I can go on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, it feels like you're just like
this is
listing
not
all the crazy things you can collect. Look at how many things you can collect. This is ridiculous. Why would anybody want to do this?
Well, like I mentioned, the fact that you could, try to do all these things in regards to being like server first about achieving all these great mighty tasks and going on these insane sick dungeons and island expeditions, which are a new thing now. And yeah,
it is cool, kind of cool that they highlight that. They keep track of like who on the server was the first to do something like that. If sort of a leaderboard per server, that's all right. I like
kind of yeah. It's mostly that's all like community run for the most part.
Okay, I see.
Because the community is big on that stuff.
I bet. Yeah. Jeez.
I mean, come on, Leroy Jenkins.
Oh God, yeah. I just recently found out that was staged. That whole Leroy Jenkins thing. I was like,
sadly.
what? No, my life. Everything.
I mean, to be honest
believed.
with you, if you've played World of Warcraft and you listen to them, you're like, this is so made up. But you don't want to. You didn't want to admit it,
right?
Because the one guy's like, "What are our chances for survival?" And the guy's like 5.3.7, and I'm like, "This is so made up. It's so made up, but it's so great too."
Oh God,
that's great.
Pour one out for Leroy, wherever he may be.
I think he's in California. I think he lives in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for that, John or Jack.
Oh.
I'm just gonna make up I feel like I should have start a gag where I'm just gonna do like every single J name that I could think of.
Go for it.
But anyway, yeah. I guess for what I've been playing this week, I've been sticking to the old faithful Street Fighter V. Been sticking out with that. Cody came out, and he seems kind of fun. I should spend more time with him. I kind of want to spend more time with him. But what I really wanted to talk about, which seems like it may be a theme this episode, I don't know. But hey, have you guys heard about this loot box thing?
Oh, what?
Well, Street Fighter 5 got some loot boxes.
No,
oh,
when? When did this start?
This started a week or two ago. It was when Cody dropped, and I was like, "What? Why is this happening? This is dumb."
Has no one learned from EA?
No. But the thing is, you can't buy them with actual money. You can only buy them with the in-game fight money, which is even
That's
weirder.
not bad then.
It's such a bad implementation of like loot boxes.
I mean, it circumvents law.
Yeah, I guess. But also, it's like a dumb thing because you don't really get anything special out of it. So I guess the loot pool for these loot boxes are primarily these consumable items that they also added because they revamped survival mode. So I guess now you can, get these loot boxes and get some items that'll help you. Like they'll give you like boost stats and like one will you take a consumable, maybe you get some health back, or maybe you do more damage this round or something like that.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Or you get some special colors that they added specifically for this update. And I think the grand prize is a new Cammy costume, which is, I believe, her Cannon Spike costume from that game.
Oh God, Cannon Spike.
Yeah.
I have played that. I have actually played that. I am aware of that game.
Oh man, that's a thing. And apparently that costume has like unique win quotes. I think that kind of correlates to that game as well.
She better mention Arthur.
I don't know. I don't remember what the win quotes are, but yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is bizarre. But yeah, the loot pool is like just silly. Like each character only gets 2 costume colors for either their default costume or their story costume. It might change between different characters, but yeah, 2 new colors. They're the same color for all the characters, or at least I think the default one is the same color. It's basically like this mirror reflective thing, and it kind of changes color depending on what stage you're on, because it kind of reflects the light differently. And it seems like a whole waste of time. I don't know why they would implement it that way, because you can't, like, I would understand if they threw in like the other stuff that you could get in the game, like the other colors or the other costumes and things like, but no, we're just doing this super limited pool of items that you can maybe get with these little loot boxes, but it's such a bizarre implementation.
That way you're forced to feel like you should try it, so that way it feels like the mechanic that they put in is a success because people are doing it.
I don't even know. Like when you boot up after the game updates, it kind of explains it to you, but and they give you the first one for free, obviously.
Of course,
that's the way to do it.
It's a taste.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's like why even do this? I don't know. It's such a weird thing. Capcom is doing some dumb/weird things with this game. I don't understand, but I enjoy playing it still.
I never jumped into 5.
5 is all right. 5 is pretty good. I think the main complaint that people have with this, there are few defensive options, so you have to eat a lot of like 50-50 mix-ups and stuff. But I think overall, I enjoy this game. It's certainly the most competitive I've gotten with any fighting game.
Yeah, I watched some of your matches that were streamed.
Yes.
Pretty good. Your guile is very, very sassy.
Oh, yes.
Sassy.
Uh-huh.
Sassy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think other than that, I've also been playing, I guess, like Vil, I caved in on the Steam sale, and I bought a whole bunch of things, one of which is Battle Chef Brigade.
Yes, tell me about this. I was intrigued.
Yeah, it's a game. I think it came out like very late last year, and I've been meaning to check it out for like pretty much ever since I saw it. But I believe this was published by Adult Swim Games, and it is a crazy mashup of different genres. It is a mashup of like a melee action game. It is a mashup of a like maybe match 3 puzzle game. It is an RPG. It is all those things, and it does all of them pretty well. And I love the art style of the game. It's got this like, it's this hand-drawn sort of like pretty well detailed, like almost anime style sort of thing going on. Everyone's like realistic proportions in terms of the people and all that, but it takes place in this fantasy world where I guess monsters used to roam, and they still roam, but people eventually found out that, hey, we can kill these monsters and we can cook them up real good. I was like, okay. And I guess the main thing in this game is like you're doing a bunch of these like Iron Chef style competitions to make it the best dish. And I don't know. I can't describe really how much I love this game, but I don't know. It just ticks so many boxes for me. It's just firing on all cylinders. But yeah, it's a very cool game. Even the voice acting is really well done. It's not everything is voice acted, but most of the like mainline story stuff is voice acted. But yeah, it's basically a 2D game. You're going around, you can move your avatar around. You're playing this character called Mina, who starts off in this small town. Her family owns a restaurant, and she has this dream of competing in these tournaments or these competitions. And it starts off, and you basically you tutorialize the game. You learn how to play, and so the whole loop is like when you want to cook something, you start in the kitchen. You get an idea of what you want to do. I'm gonna leave the competition stuff for later, and I'll explain that in a bit. But typically, what you do is you leave the kitchen, so you go to the left of the screen, and then you are basically out in this sort of this overworld. Is still 2D, still from the side, but you're going around, and a bunch of like animals and critters are around, and you got to go kill them.
Oh my
fresh.
gosh. They're not cute, are they?
Not really. They're kind of like they're cute-ish, but they're still like monsters.
No.
You know.
So they're
Alright.
so they're desensitizing.
A little bit. Yeah, they make them like they make them like monstrous. Yeah, they make them like scary a little bit. So you're going out, you're killing them. They drop stuff, ingredients, and then you pick them up. You have limited inventory, so you can only pick up so many things. And then once you've gotten your fill, you go back into the kitchen, and then you drop whatever ingredients you want into your pot. And when you drop them into the pot, then they become like these jewels, and you basically do match threes. You can match three either horizontally or vertically. And the way you kind of move the pieces around are I think you have a reticle, like a 4x4 reticle in a square configuration. So it's sort of like Lumines, where you kind of highlight a square of blocks, and then you can rotate them either clockwise or counterclockwise to make the matches. And when you match the gems, you start out with level 1 gems. If you match 3, they fuse and become 1 level 2 gem, and then you can, match 3 level 2 gems to make a 1 big level 3 gem. And as far as I know, level 3 is the max. And level 3s are key to making these dishes and key to winning these competitions. So when you actually get into a competition, there are specific things that these judges are looking for. So like Iron Chef, there's like a theme for these dishes. For one particular day, like, hey, you gotta kill like a dragon. We want dragon is the theme of this thing. So the main ingredient is going to be dragon. So you got to go find and kill a dragon out in that little overworld that's on the side of the kitchen. And I think you can mix in other stuff, but I think primarily the thing that has to be in there the most is the dragon.
This is hilarious to me because the only cooking show that I really watch occasionally is the Master Chef Junior.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm just imagining kids,
little kids,
like
going out
slaying a dragon.
Chefs, today's special ingredient is dragon. You must go and obtain the dragon.
You just give this little kid like a huge sword, a broadsword, with a dragon behind them. Like, all right, if you say so.
Sorry,
no problem.
It's just what came in my head.
God, that'd be hilarious. But yeah, like you go out, you kill the thing, you bring back the ingredients, and then each judge has also a taste preference. So I think their preferences are of one of the 3 elements. There's like fire, earth, and wind, I think. Or water is the other one. That's the 3. So yeah, water is blue, earth is green, and red is fire, obviously. So if they have that particular preference, you want to make sure you put in as many level 3 gems of that element to placate their taste buds. And that's basically it. You just have to make a dish. And everything is timed. You have like a set amount of time to go out and hunt and then make the dish. And then if you are missing some more ingredients, you can always go back and get some more ingredients, hunt and do that thing. And I don't know, the whole thing is just really cool. The melee action, like the fighting, is actually all right. It's it doesn't feel like 100% great, but it's like most of the way there. You have like I was playing on an Xbox pad, so the attacks are on the X button. You can also combo stuff too, because you have like if you hold up and press X, you do like an uppercut. So you can jump in the air, attack like maybe a flying enemy or something, and then once your regular combo is done, you can uppercut and then do some more stuff in the air, which is really fun.
So Doomfist.
Basically, yeah. You have magical abilities as well. I don't know if you get other characters later on in the game, but for Mina, she has, if you press Y, she throws out daggers, which cost mana, but if you press up and Y at the same time, she throws out this big-ass tornado that will do like a, sort of like an area of effect for a little bit. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Cool.
But yeah, it feels pretty fluid. The animation is not like super great. Like there's not a lot of frames of animation, but I think it moves pretty well, and it feels really good. For like, this RPG puzzle game or whatever, it's this whole thing is bizarre.
I like games that are like a little bit like
off kilter,
quirky, and have like have a bunch of different genres sort of mashed together, kind of experimenting to see what you can do off the beaten path there. Yeah. So it sounds really good.
Yeah, what you can get away with.
Yeah, exactly, precisely.
Yeah.
I admit I did not talk about what I bought on Steam sale,
but
I didn't really play them. I bought Tales of Berseria.
Okay.
because my one friend keeps highly recommending that one.
Uh-huh.
Because he's like, oh, you'll like the main character. Because the thing in the Tales series, it's a very anime-esque
Right.
game.
Uh-huh.
And it's, they kind of got their tropey main characters. No, this one's like dark, almost like werewolf girl.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And it's like the story is like very much like visually darker. It's, it's still got that whole anime, like still the same art style, but they just went like kind of gothic horror a little bit.
Huh. Okay.
And I'm like, okay, all right, well, that's actually very interesting. So it was like $12, so I bought it.
But not played it yet.
For a JRPG?
But not played it because it's a JRPG. I'm like,
I don't have enough hours in your life.
But
you can play WoW.
Time. Yep.
But you can play WoW.
Yes, but that's WoW is kind of the thing where it's like, it's WoW.
It's WoW.
And I also bought Iconoclast because I collect... I hate calling them Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
Metroid-esque games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There was another name for that
me.
genre floating around. I'm trying to remember what it was, but I can't remember right now.
If you figure it out, let me know, because I just... I love Symphony of the Night. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But Symphony of the Night, even the creator's like, yeah, I thought about Metroid. I saw Super Metroid in a bargain bin at a game store, and I'm like, wow, wouldn't it be great if Castlevania was more like Metroid?
Uh-huh.
So to call the whole... no, that's literally the story, apparently, of how Symphony of the Night came around.
Okay.
And is it sort of like to call the whole genre Metroidvania? Seems a little weird to me.
Yeah.
That's just me. It's like, why not just acknowledge Metroid? Why do you have to acknowledge Symphony of the Night? Because people loved it, I guess. But people love... I don't know. Maybe it's because Symphony of the Night brought in RPG elements.
Yeah, it's the kind of one that that sort of revitalized the whole franchise anyway, and brought in all those elements.
Anyway, I apologize.
No worries.
But other than that, those are the two things I bought on Steam Sale.
Dope.
And have yet to play.
I think I bought like 8 or so games. I was like, fuck it, let's buy all the cheap stuff in my wish list. Let's
Yeah, that's what I did.
What else do I have?
Those are the only 2 games I actually got around to playing,
Yeah.
but I brought probably like at least 4 others. I don't know when I'm going to play these things, but
with Battle Chef Brigade also, I guess sort of the RPG aspect of it is you can buy a whole bunch of items and they have like different, stats and things like that. So you can buy yourself a bunch of different pans, for one, that do different things. So your default pan, what it does, it'll match any of the taste gems. If you match 3 of them, then it'll combine and it'll upgrade them to the the next level. The first pans you can get access to are elemental pans. So there's one for each element, and what they do is they can match 2 gems and then upgrade them just with the 2, not 3. But the problem is they don't match any other element, which is interesting. But when you are cooking, you have 3 pans at your availability. So you can, if you want to like strategize or something, you can get a specific loadout for the equipment that you bring into the kitchen and be like, okay, I know this guy. Well, I don't know if it tells you beforehand, because you can like practice beforehand, but you don't know who the judge is going to be, so you don't know what their taste preferences are going to be. So it's going to be kind of a guess as to what you bring in terms of if you want to like focus that way. But there's there's an item like an oven that you can also throw on instead of a pan. And what that does, it will slowly upgrade individual taste gems by themselves. It just takes a long time for it to happen. But if you have some stuff that needs to be upgraded and you don't have, or you're having a hard time like getting them to match by themselves or like with other gems, you can just put them in the oven, let them stew for a bit, and eventually they will upgrade over time.
Poor stew.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of things too. Like you can get bones in there, and if you match bones, then they become basically a wild card. You can match them with anything. You can get a cutting board, which you can basically erase or destroy any one gem or multiple gems if you want. You can basically pick and choose which one to do, but you're sacrificing, a pan slot, if you will, on your, I guess, in your kitchen. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of things you can do. There's a lot of depth there. There's a daily challenge feature in the game as well, where you can, I guess everybody in the world has access to the same sort of challenge and the same like dungeon or area or something like that. And I was exposed to some of, I think, the later game mechanics. So I think there's stuff like that is poisonous ingredients that will destroy gems or crack them. and if a gem gets cracked over time, well, not over time, but if you move them too much, then they'll eventually just obliterate themselves. So it's like, which is not great. So you have to be careful. But yeah, there's a whole lot of depth in this game, and when you get multiple judges, which I didn't know at first, you have to make multiple dishes specifically for each judge. So you got, at the most, you have 3 dishes going at the same time. So it can get pretty crazy, but I'm having a lot of fun. I find Battle Chef Brigade super endearing. The story is pretty cool. All the different characters and stuff. It's just a fun, loving game. I love it a lot. And I haven't played a lot of it, but I want to play more for sure. But this game is fucking phenomenal so far.
Cool. I'll have to check it out.
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of sad. I'll probably talk about it later, but I know the Twitch Prime, they're doing a whole bunch of things where if you have Twitch Prime, they give out free games every once in a while, and I think this month they're doing a whole bunch of things, and Battle Chef Brigade is one of those games that they are giving out for free.
Oh, I did see the list earlier.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was on there.
Yeah, that one's on there. There's a couple good things on there, but yeah, I was kind of sad when I saw it on there. I was like, oh man, I just spent the money.
Weird. There's a lot of SNK stuff on there.
Is there? Was there on there?
Yeah, Last Blade and Metal Slug 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm like, Last Blade? I'm like, really? I'm like, don't get me wrong, Last Blade is awesome, but and I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah, man, they're throwing everything on there, I guess.
Oh.
But yeah, I guess that'll wrap up for what we've been playing. So,
though I've also finished a while ago. I did finish Dad of Boy.
Oh, yes.
That's old news.
That is old news, but I feel it is still worth mentioning that I played it and beat it and kicked the Valkyrie Queen's ass.
Damn. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I beat the game, I beat the story, and I haven't gone back to do a lot of the extra stuff, which I'm sad about.
Valkyrie Queen.
I kind of want to get that
Doesn't
platinum.
matter the difficulty.
I want it. But yeah, dope. Well, overall, what did you think about Dad of Boy?
Dad of Boy was amazing. I was surprised. I'm not really that big of a fan of the God of War series. Like, I played the first one, but I just kind of was like, I'm swinging the chain. Oh, look, I got an Athena sword or something like that. Nope, still not as good as swinging the chain.
Chains are very good.
And the story didn't mean much to me because it's like, hey, I am trying to mourn the loss of my wife and child. First thing you do in the game is sleep with someone.
Yeah, the story is basically like, who am I angry at this very moment? Point me in that direction. Let's tear them apart.
So Dad of Boy was a very in-depth story, very in-depth mechanics.
Yeah.
I love the fighting. Someone's like, oh, repetitive fighting. I'm like, bull? I'm like, you are uncreative as hell. Because in that game, you could do some of the most fun combos.
Yeah, there's lots, especially with the runic system too. You can slot in the runes and basically customize what abilities you have.
And it's just nice because the mechanics made it very easy. Well, I wouldn't say very easy, but it just made it so you can have those moments where you just feel like a powerhouse and you feel like you are achieving this. Like on the bridge leading up to the mountain, I think like the second time you go there, and there's just like a wave after wave of enemies. I just slaughtered them. Like it was like it was. I felt like I was like Old Boy.
Oh yeah,
like Old Boy in the hallway. Except for here I am on this ice bridge.
Yep. Yeah, there's some
slaughtering
amazing moments in that game. Goddamn. Yeah, that might be worth another like replay. Goddamn, God of War. Jesus.
That's on my replay list. So is South Park Fractured Butthole when they ever decide to come up with the last DLC.
Actually, was God of War supposed to come out with like a new game plus or something like that? I thought I remember hearing that.
Yes, I believe they were working on a new game plus.
That might be worth checking out then.
Good, I can walk around my mist gear from Niflheim.
Oh god. I've been to that place. I did not delve the depths of Niflheim because it just get crushed by those fucking little mechanisms and other crazy death traps.
For me, it wasn't crushed. It was those blades.
Yeah.
It was like impossible to correctly, narrowly wedge myself between these blades without one of them nicking my elbow. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, dead.
Classic Prince of Persia.
Oh, man. Well, I guess with that, we can wrap up what we've been playing. and we can move on into headlines. Get a taste of what's been going on in the news on video games. So if you're listening and you want to follow along with us, definitely hit up innercitygeeks.com. We got our show notes there, links to everything we're going to talk about. Feel free to check that out. But without further ado, y'all heard about this Amy Hennig business? Where apparently she has not been at EA. She was so if you don't know Amy Hennig, she was a director of the Uncharted games, the original trilogy of Uncharted games. She left and went with Visceral Games at EA, and she was supposed to be working on the new Star Wars game, or one of the new Star Wars game. Supposed to be sort of Uncharted in its vibe, but apparently that game got canceled some time ago. I think back in November. And EA, their official statement was like they're trying to shuffle people into other, development studios and get them on other projects. And we assumed that Amy Hennig was one of those people, but apparently she was not. She was, I don't know if she was let go or she left of her own accord, but she has not been at EA for some time. And for whatever reason, she couldn't tell people that she had left EA and was doing kind of her own thing. So we got this story from Eurogamer kind of detailing what happened. They talked to her, and she's got some stuff going on, but I don't know if you guys had any thoughts about this EA/Star Wars business and Amy Hennig's involvement.
Not exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was following, was it Star Wars 916, I think, or something like that was the name of the game?
916? You mean 1313?
1313. I knew it was some kind of number.
916.
I don't know where 916 came from, but 1313, that was
the LucasArts game.
Amazing, and I was sad when I heard that was canceled.
Yeah.
And, I mean, ever since, the Battlefield debacle, I've just been like, oh, I'm just going to write off Star Wars games and just pretend they don't exist.
Yeah.
Because, they decided to just let EA do what they want, so...
Yeah. And I think one of the reasons that EA cited that they shelved the Visceral project was because it was too limited in scope, which I think translates, at least to me, is like, hey, this is a single player thing that people can only play once, really. We need to make this like an open world thing. Throw in maybe some loot boxes. I don't know. Maybe if people come around to that, we could put that in there. They just want something to keep making money. And this game that Amy Hennig was helming was not that, apparently. Which sucks.
I mean, it goes into the whole argument about like, oh, is single player dead?
Mm-hmm.
Which Dad of Boy says no.
Right? Yeah.
But there are companies like EA that are pushing for that. Oh yeah, multiplayer, so that way we can keep it going and keep making money.
Yep.
But there are plenty of studios still that are still doing the single player experience that are even AAA related.
Yeah.
But yeah, EA is just, I don't know. I'm just kind of curious what it will take for them to crash and burn so bad that they can't recover.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like I'm not like one of the typical people that, hates on EA just for the sake of them being EA. But I don't know. It's a lot of the decisions they've been making lately I don't agree with. And I don't know when the last time I played like and really loved an EA game. Maybe the original Mass Effect trilogy. I don't know. Dragon Age Inquisition, probably. But...
but those are still BioWare mostly.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the EA-ness is slowly but surely kind of poisoning the BioWare well at this point.
Well, I mean, they blamed recently Breath of the Wild for Andromeda, for Mass Effect Andromeda's sad release.
No, that's wrong.
They
blame
blamed
yourselves, please.
Yeah.
Take ownership for that. God, you know what? I kind of weirdly want to finish Andromeda. I just need to know how that game ends. Oh my God.
I stopped playing Mass Effect at 2.
Really? Okay.
Like I beat 2. It was weird. I beat 2. I was excited for 3. When 3 came out, I'm like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard the ending sucked, and I'm like, eh. Okay.
Oh man. Well, 3 had the multiplayer too, which I really loved. That thing was amazing. And I think actually some people might still play that like to this day, the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. But I guess other than that, I don't know if you guys heard a while back, but there's this online tool that a lot of people in the industry were using called Steam Spy, which they used to get a lot of information about what was going on in the Steam marketplace. It turns out Valve, they changed some privacy policies because the way Steam Spy worked was that they basically crawled, I don't know if everybody's, but they basically crawled people's Steam profiles because a lot of information on people's Steam profiles is public by default. So you could tell like, oh, hey, this person has this game in their library, and, you know, it kind of collect all that information and try and build some sort of model as like, okay, this is how many people own this game. And you can kind of maybe make some distinction of how many people bought a game in a certain time period, depending on how many people like own it based on one time period over another. But it wasn't accurate, obviously, because, you know, sometimes people get shit for free or you get a code for a game and that's how it's added to your library. But for a long time, it seemed like the only and best tool that a lot of people making games had to see like different trends in the marketplace and things like that. So, but Valve changed some privacy policies on people's profiles. So now Steam Spy is dead, but Valve is promising now that they are going to provide some new tools for people that are going to be more accurate than Steam Spy was. But it seems like they're trying to kind of fill that gap that Steam Spy left behind when it died. But
so Steam Spy was not an official thing?
No, it was somebody had made it based on the API, the Steam API. So they were using that information and basically just, you know, taking in that information and then spitting something out.
Okay. So yeah, this is kind of like Nintendo being like, wow, we heard people are emulating things. Let's just make the virtual console sort of thing. You know, we hear that people on the outside are doing this. Well, let's officially do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can, control it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in some cases, for something like that, might be a good thing.
You would hope. You would hope.
You would hope.
But yeah.
Gaben, don't steer wrong.
Yeah.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Oh, Jesus. I was trying to think, what was somebody had made a joke online. I forget, it was like maybe some podcast I heard, but they were joking that, hey, maybe Valve should show up at like E3 or make an announcement that they're going to be in E3 and they just have a trailer that shows the big-ass number 3. Just let it linger there for a little bit and then fade in.
Three. They don't even tell you which game it is.
3. God.
they don't tell you what it is. Team Fortress, Portal.
No, that they're just going to E3.
Just 3.
No game. It's just like, hey, we're going to E3. There's the big 3.
It's funny. People are like, they don't know how to count to 3. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They have a 4 in one of their titles. Left 4 Dead.
Hard.
So clearly, I mean, unless they think 1, 2, 4.
That must be it.
Man. But yeah, I'm not a developer. I don't think you guys are developers, so I don't know what tools will be needed or if this will satisfy those people with the tool set. But hopefully Valve delivers, because that would be nice if they did.
Oh, also Half-Life 2 Episode 3. That was another thing that they didn't, that never came to be.
Oh, right, yeah, that's right. I was about to say, like, oh, yeah, that came out, right? Nope, it didn't. No, still not to 3.
No.
I mean, that they did kind of do a Dota 2 update that people were saying, like, oh, this is basically Dota 3. That's close as I think we're going to get. But anyway, in other news, some amazing news, some ridiculous-ass news. Overwatch announced their latest hero, Hero 28. This new hero, his name is Wrecking Ball, and he is, guys, they just made a fucking hamster in a hamster ball of death. It is, it's pretty cool. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but yeah, the hamster has a name, which is Hammond, but the hero name is Wrecking Ball, which is kind of weird. I don't know, but here we are. We got Hammy on the scene. He's a hamster. Hammy. But he doesn't...
Hammy the hamster.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw we've got... So the article we linked to has like pretty much all the links to like the different videos that have come out officially from Blizzard. They've got the Wrecking Ball origin story. You got Jeff Kaplan talking about everything that Wrecking Ball does. And yeah, I kind of love this, particularly that Jeff Kaplan video, because he there's some choice quotes in there, and I I don't know. When I first saw him, like it felt kind of weird, sort of out of place almost, that you would put this kind of a character in the game. And he went out of his way to mention that Hammond does not speak English or any other human language because, as he says, that would be ridiculous, as we all know. And I was like,
that would be way too ridiculous.
I don't know. It's like I don't know if I agree with that. But thoughts, guys? How are you feeling about this guy?
Okay. The weirdest part for me, oddly enough, is actually something Jeff Kaplan said. I don't know why he had to reiterate about 5 times that he is not a junker. He for some reason he's like, one of the most important things you could take away from this is he is not a junker. I'm like, okay. Thanks. Is that your way of trying to hint that a junker will be the next hero? Because you don't want to say, oh my god, we have 4 junkers?
Maybe, because, people are speculating that the Junker Queen would be a hero at some point, and maybe Hammond is not taking that Junker slot. He wants to make people aware that this is not a Junker character, because there could be another one on the way. Who knows?
But yet, he basically competed in all their tournaments and won all their tournaments, so he...
This character sounds like a Mary Sue. Like, they just hit the Mary Sue. I don't know. So I think Blizzard is like super trolly about this character here because way back, what was it, last year that there was speculation about, Hammond from the Horizon Lunar Colony lore, and pretty much everybody sort of thought he was an ape, like all the other, specimens on the moon.
Right.
Or maybe he would be a chimp or a smaller primate, and that's kind of like what everybody thought. And I just see the Overwatch development team just giggling, like, you think it's an ape? And then they bring out this ridiculous hamster. Like, it just kind of hit like the ridiculous threshold. Like, I have a pretty high tolerance for goofy. But this just kind of busted it through for me. Like
a wrecking ball?
Like a wrecking ball.
There it is.
Like a wrecking ball. And I think the trolliest part was, like, there's a video, it might be on that webpage, where it's just the teaser, where there's a poster of, like, a chimp or an ape or something, like, jumping. And then the next thing you see is this big dumb ball rolling by, and then later they're like, "Guess what? It's frickin' Hamtaro," and I'm like, "Oh," and it's just such a disappointment for me. And I don't know if it's because I feel like trolled and tricked, which I guess should be funny, but I'm like, that's a low blow. It's a low blow because, like, I don't know. I sort of have like this mental scarring from this game, this MMO called WildStar, which is dead pretty much, by the way. But they had this race of creatures that were basically insane hamsters.
Mechanical, I mean,
like mechanically inclined insane hamsters, and they just looked insane, they just cackled, and they were just like this sort of like insane rodent trope, I think, is kind of a thing. Like, just, this crazy, maniacal, cackling rat. And I'm just like, I'm just not impressed by that.
Just feed off of chaos.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen that sort of character before. Like, look how cute and adorable he is, but he's actually evil. And I'm like, okay.
Darla Dimple did it best.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, I've kind of seen like this archetype, and I think it doesn't really fit that well in Overwatch, but I don't know.
Especially with the lore video where, you have Dr. Winston in the background, like, I wonder what fun he'll end up in next.
I'm
like in the most whimsical, like, overly whimsical voice.
Why did you have this super hyper, supposedly intelligent hamster anyway? Like, what were you going to do with that? Like, I don't know. Apes, fine. But the hamster?
No, don't you remember? He was our biggest surprise.
Okay, I don't know. It's just they feed you... The problem with Overwatch is they feed you lore so far in advance, so you have, like, a year to just kind of muddle it around in your head.
Unless your name's Lucio.
Unless you're Lucio, yeah, where you have no lore. Or Zenyatta, or poor Zenyatta. But then it's like, ta-da, this is what you get, so you're kind of like, wow, if it doesn't wow you, then you're like, oh, okay. That was a year of my life.
Yeah, it feels like they're purposely setting you up for something obvious, and then they hit you with the curveball at the last second.
Kind of little, like, and it's like just something that's just not impressive to me. But I don't. I'll get over it. But
But his kit looks pretty cool. I don't know. It's I don't know if
yeah.
I don't know if I agree with something moving that fast and having 600 health.
Yeah, it's on the PTR. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, neither have I.
Basically, because I'm just trying to get over the shock of how silly it is.
Yeah, I've been seeing some crazy flank routes that people have been making up already with them. I was like, okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I really wanted another tank because I think the tank pool is kind of like small. And it's kind of like everything's very situational. So I think having, tanks kind of go in first and make the plays. So I think it's important to have like a good variety of play styles so more people can get into the tank class.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is like, whoa, like totally.
It's like Jeff said. Well, maybe you found that a tank hadn't fit you yet.
Yeah, like
and we'll fill that.
Yeah, well, I'm like, wow, that's such a kind of departure from the way the rest of the thing plays. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really say what I would think about it. But I'm like, for something, all the videos, I'm like, that thing's going super fast, and like, Doomfist kind of bugs me because he's just there to shake up everything, and it's like, this guy's just flying all over the place and he can like one-shot you into the wall. It's just like, what is going on? And then to have something with like 600 HP that maybe can do something similar, it's just, it's frightening.
I just want to watch Doomfist punch him.
Yeah, that does sound entertaining.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, I gotta pop on the PTR and take a look and see what the hell is going on with this thing, because...
Yeah.
And also his health can get up to 900 depending on if like the whole entire enemy team's around him.
Oh, with the shield thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but...
I'm assuming he does, like, no damage, because...
apparently the gun is, like, decent.
I'm sure
but his ground smash apparently is actually not bad, but it's just really situational, because you have to be up kind of high to do it.
Yeah, you have to be, like, a specific height or something, right, to even trigger it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in some maps, that's going to be nigh impossible.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's, I don't know, I kind of I'm waiting to see, like, high skill level people kind of take advantage of what the hell he can do, because, man, he can get some crazy places and do some ridiculous things, just, like, with his movement.
Oh, and now with talking about getting to crazy places with Symmetra's teleporter, the way it works now, like, anybody can go anywhere. It's crazy.
Really?
Like, yeah, because now her teleporter is not her ult, it is just a regular move.
Oh, crap.
And
okay.
yes.
No, it's different now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a timed thing, so you put one down where you want to go. So you can put it, like, way up in, like, sniper nests, like, where a Bastion would never be able to get to before, and you can basically teleport, like, immobile characters into, like, the high ground. So it's pretty crazy.
Okay.
It's pretty. You can teleport your whole team to the high ground if you want to. So yeah, and I've also seen some crazy stuff like Reinhardt's charging into her teleporter, and then he's still charging when he comes out the other side. So it's like he could be just flying through the air, and just like, it's insane the stuff you can do.
That's amazing. I love that.
I think there's a lot of chaos being implemented into this game now, so it's gonna be crazy, even crazier.
Wrecking Ball, he'll just come right out of the portal.
Right, he'll just come flying like out of the sky, and you'll be like, "Where did this come from?"
I wonder how that works,
gonna be
though.
insane.
Like, will the thing get cut off if he goes through the portal, the little rope, whatever, his tether?
Oh yeah.
No, he'll probably keep the momentum.
It might still have the same momentum.
Right? Yeah. God,
something worth experimenting with, I guess.
I don't know. I just kind of wish that gravity worked with him, because apparently it doesn't. Like, if you go up a hill and go down a hill, you're apparently going the same speed. I kind of wish it was the opposite, only because I think it'd be hilarious.
Nah, man, that hamster ball's got hella torque.
Yeah,
like that first hill in, like the moment you come out on offense in Eichenwald, and it's that hill.
Okay,
or like any of the steps in Nubani. Not Nubani, Anubis.
But what if you had to go up a hill? You'd be super slow. Your team would hate you.
What if they introduced a hero that could like throw down like an oil slick, and then he can't get up there anymore? That'd be crazy.
In regards to the whole, like, trolling thing too, was I admit I normally don't try to, like, fantasize about next heroes. Fantasize is a bad word. But I had this idea of, like, what having the ape would be like, and I wanted it more than anything.
You were let down.
It was beyond let down, because I wanted him to be a support, and I wanted him to be like an ape, and he can jump on your back. And when he jumps on your back, he's healing you. Like maybe he like sticks something in you and he's healing you, and he can stay on your back, and as long as he's on your back, you're being healed, and he'll reach over your shoulder with a pistol. So you can still headshot him if you like, shoot over the shoulder, or if you get him from behind.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, he could just just leap around from teammate to teammate doing this.
Okay.
And it'd be like an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
You should have sent Blizzard a letter.
And like a whole
before
new
they
way
made
of
this poor decision of putting Hamtaro in the game.
Instead we get a big ass ball, rolling ball that's really fast.
Yep.
Which, I mean, granted, in Overwatch, that's I want to say new, but not really, because Diva's mech kind of.
Yeah, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a wild time for Overwatch.
It really
I
is.
just see him as another high-skilled, chaotic character that people are going to play and suck at.
I sure will suck at him. I can barely diva.
I don't tend to play characters when they first come out because I expect nerfs and changes, and I don't ever want to get
used to certain
this
things.
is great. Oh wait, no.
Well, it's bound to happen these days. Everything's getting balanced all the time, so any long-term game you play is going to change at some point or another.
It's true.
Oh yeah, but I just talk about just like, oh well, suddenly his, oh look, Roadhog's hook,
Yeah,
is suddenly a whole lot different.
you gotta wait at least the whole competitive season
Yeah, at
before
least
you
they do
pick up
for
a
that,
character
yeah.
at this point.
But but especially like the PTR, if they're not on live, I'm like, no, don't feel like trying it.
Yeah, I think I'll wait until full on release for him before I mess around with
And
Hammy.
I also just haven't really been in the mood to play it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played Overwatch, but I don't know, man. Hammond might bring me back for a little bit at least.
Yeah, we all gotta
I thought
group up
Brigitte
and
would
get
bring
together
me
and
back,
play.
but she really didn't.
Who?
Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Yeah, I thought she would, but she kind of didn't.
We gotta all play together. That's the key. It's more fun when you play with friends.
Yes, indeed.
That's the bottom line.
But I guess that's it for Overwatch news this week. I had this other story that seemed a little crazy and out there, but apparently there's some reports going around that Google might be trying to step into the video game scene, trying to, I don't know if they're trying to build up a platform or something or other, but apparently these plans are kind of have this three-pronged approach based on reports. So it could be either and or a combination of these things. I'm not sure exactly what, but they want to do some streaming, which exists right now. I think PlayStation Now is basically that, and I think GeForce has another service where you can stream video games to your tablet or other devices. They could also be making some new gaming hardware of some sort. I don't know what that would be. And they're trying to actually bring in video game developers into Google proper to I guess, build stuff and experiment with stuff. But I don't know. I know Amazon has been in the video game business for a little bit.
Kind of where my brain immediately went to.
Yeah, because they bought that... Or they have their own engine, which is based off CryEngine. I think it's Lumberjack is their engine, and they bought a couple of studios. I know Double Helix was one of them, but I don't know if they've actually put anything out yet or done anything consumer-facing. So I don't know how that's going, but, Amazon bought Twitch, and they got that going for them, and putting out a bunch of, games, or at least, a sort of Steam competitor where you can buy games and support streamers that way, but... I don't know. How do you guys feel about maybe Google stepping into the scene and doing something video game related?
I don't know. It's sort of like one of those things where it's like trying to have someone new come into the market.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little rough because,
but it's be nice to have some kind of a shakeup, I guess.
Yeah, but it's the idea of whether or not it can be a shakeup. I mean, I guess if any company can, it would be Google,
right?
Yeah,
but they really would have to really pull out something major to even remotely make a difference in anything. Because first off, Steam just has mostly everything except for console exclusives.
Yeah.
And also Twitch streamers tend to favor PC because, all their kit stuff's on, easily accessible. All their, overlays and all that stuff for Twitch, again, easily accessible. So they'd really have to go above and beyond on this. And
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to do that.
Yeah, because I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. I've heard this from other publishers, and I think some E3 announcements came out, like Microsoft and Ubisoft, I think. Or not, Microsoft and EA. They were talking about how, like, they're trying to pimp their streaming services already. And I don't know, some people are thinking that maybe the next hardware generation will be the last, because the future is supposed to be streaming. Like, you won't run games locally on your hardware, either console or PC. You'll just get it from the cloud, and they send you the video feed, and that's it.
Well, it makes sense because, first off, it would really get rid of a lot of consumer problems,
Yeah.
consumer service problems, because of the fact that, hey, there will be no red rings of death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what? Your console has a broken, disk drive, or your hardware is busted? Oh yeah, don't have to worry about that anymore. Don't have to worry about, oh, do you have the next version of this and this console? Do you have the PlayStation Pro to be able to do this? No, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, you'll get new
anymore.
problems like, oh, my internet can't keep up with the speed I need to look at this game the way I want it. Or the fucking latency with the controller is like so high. It's like, I can't play this game because I need the speed. Like, not all games are like that, but if you're playing like twitchy games like that, then
hopefully get to a point where they would feel it is comfortable before they said no to consoles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, one thing to keep in mind with the death of consoles is whether or not, like, NVIDIA would allow it. Because NVIDIA's got major stock in the creation of consoles, and so do, the other hardware developers.
Well, they even have their own streaming service, like, for this. They are already streaming games. Like, they have a beta available right now that you can check out. So,
what, NVIDIA?
NVIDIA themselves, yep. It's called GeForce Now.
Oh, well, okay.
So, I don't know. I guess maybe on the back end, maybe like on the servers, all the machines that are running the game and then spitting out the video, maybe they're all NVIDIA cards or something. I don't know. Maybe that's how they work it out. But, like, they're in it right now. They're checking it out.
Huh. I don't know. I'd have to see how it works out. Either way, Nintendo's not going to stop making consoles anytime soon.
Yeah. Like, I still feel
Especially
like I would want a console. There's something about that direct feed that I would want. I don't trust the internet to give me the crystal clear, all the pixels and everything. It's there's something, I don't want that layer of separation from the game. Mm-hmm. But maybe that's just my old man brain.
Oh, it would kill our good pal who loves to collect games in boxes. He's a game collector, so if it all went digital, he would be very, very, very upset. I'm not gonna name names.
Okay.
Well, we know a couple people who can definitely fit that description.
That's true.
I do like my physical copies as well. I'll try to get physical copies for games that I like a lot, if I can. But some other games, I'll just, fuck it, I don't care. I'll just do it digitally, because what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Well, my PlayStation hard drive says it's a big deal.
Just delete the games and then download them later if you want to play them again, that's all.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah, I know. That's why I bought the biggest hard drive I could and just slapped it into the PS4, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I probably should do that at some point.
Yeah. It's a painless process, but yeah, I don't know. It just seemed crazy that Google is. I guess it kind of makes sense, but still, it's hard to think about, because what does that even mean? And I don't know. They seem to be very happy with, like, discarding projects very shortly after they start them. So I don't know if this will even see
that's true.
or make it to fruition. So who knows? But
it'll be.
I don't know. I have a friend
Glass
who is
2.0.
very much he loves saying. I welcome my new Google overlords.
They're everywhere, man.
They feel like
they're in everything.
It's true.
Like I told him that we got gifted an Alexa, and he goes, "Oh nope, should have got a Google Home or whatever it's called." He was probably right, but it was gifted. We had no choice in the matter.
There's always a choice.
Yeah, unplug it, put it away.
That's what happened.
Well, I have this next story. It's kind of a long read, but I kind of wanted to use this as a launching off point to discuss about some maybe console crossplay. There's some Fortnite stuff going around where I don't know if you guys heard, but the Switch version of Fortnite launched, and that caused some problems because apparently, if you had played Fortnite on a PlayStation 4, and because Fortnite ties into an Epic account, which ties into your other console accounts, and you can buy stuff and use them, cross-version, different versions of the game. But apparently, if you played with the PS4 version of Fortnite, you're blacklisted from playing on the Switch version of Fortnite with that account. So you have to make a new Epic account if you want to play Fortnite on your Switch or potentially other consoles. I think the Xbox might be affected as well. But it launched this sort of whole conversation about Sony being a dick and gatekeeping console crossplay across everything. So I don't know if you guys had some maybe wishes about crossplay or thoughts on why this is not already a thing. Why aren't we playing with each other across consoles already?
I really wish I could remember what game it was, but this same conversation happened last generation, when the Xbox was clearly winning, and there is something about crossplay. I don't remember what it was, but Sony was on board, Nintendo was on board about a concept about it.
Yep.
And Microsoft was like, hell no. And they were the ones that were the leaders. Now that Sony's the leader, Sony's like, no.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense for our business.
I really wish I could remember what game it was, that it was a proposed thing. It wasn't something that actually came through, though.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I think partially because of the Xbox thing. God, what was it?
I don't remember, but it sucks, man.
I think it was an MMO. Was it Final Fantasy 14, maybe?
That's only on...
No, that was last generation, too.
Yeah, I think it was on PS3 as well as PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it was something... Yeah. It was something along that line, I think, where they were talking about it, and Microsoft was like, no. No. But now with things like Fortnite and, Rocket League, Paladins, and all those guys, where, you have much bigger games where it's becoming such a very big staple in the industry that obviously the discussion is huge right now. And I don't know. Has there been an official statement as to why Sony's no on it?
I think they've come out a couple times and said some certain things, and but basically it comes down to it just is not good for our business right now. But I think the last statement from Sean Layden was he seemed more open to it, and they're kind of going to maybe start looking into it, but they still haven't said one way or another if they're going to actually open the floodgates.
Well, okay. Well, this goes back to when I used to sell video game consoles at Best Buy and stuff. People would come in. Oh, what should I buy? Should I buy a PlayStation 3? Should I buy an Xbox 360? And I'd say, which ones do your friends own? Whatever your friends own, buy that. And I guess Sony's afraid because, can't really say that anymore with that sort of thing. Oh yeah, well I want to play Fortnite with my friends. Well, get whatever console you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
What are they playing on? Doesn't matter. Just get it on whatever console you want. They don't want that.
Yeah.
The leader obviously does not want that. Oh, I think it was something with Call of Duty. Was with the last generation. I think it was something where they were talking about crossplay with the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Oh, interesting.
Or something like that. It was something weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were in talks about it. It was something weird like that.
Yeah, it feels weird because we've already gotten a taste with a lot of different games that are offering at least some level of crossplay, typically between console and PC. But Fortnite is chief among them. I know some fighting games like Street Fighter V has PS4 and PC crossplay. Killer Instinct, obviously Xbox One and PC. Rocket League, of course, has. It's weird again because of the Sony thing, but you can sort of do between Xbox and PC, but not between Xbox and PS4. But you can do PS4 to PC, so it's a whole goddamn mess. But
which is funny that I would imagine that they wouldn't crossplay with anyone. It would be PC only because of the so many variables that come with PC, and also the capability of easily hacking.
Yeah,
and also access to files and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if people like Rocket League, if they have to go through some hoops to guarantee to the console holders, hey, we put in the precautions. We're going to make sure this doesn't affect the playable experience on these other consoles. So, yeah, I don't know if that exists or not, or if they just trust these game makers to be sure that this is not going to happen. I don't know.
Also, with shooters, mouse versus keyboard versus controller.
Yeah, I mean that's an edge case. People are not going to want to do that, obviously. But again, like Rocket League, it's not going to make a difference if you're doing mouse and keyboard or controller.
I'm kind of surprised that like these talks haven't begun with a game like Overwatch.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what you just mentioned is actually a thing with Overwatch because the console version of the game has different, like, Torbjorn has different, like, damage output and stuff like that.
Because reaction time to controller is different.
Is different, and, like, Pharah, so characters like that are actually... So the games aren't actually balanced exactly the same.
Weird.
So,
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice to at least play, like, in Overwatch, maybe not with PC, but with different consoles. Like, why not? I'm amazed that they didn't link your Blizzard account because, you know, if you play on the different consoles or on PC, like your items don't carry over. Even though you're playing on the same account and you link your Blizzard account, it's a whole new loot base. Like, okay, I want my cool skin for Pharah on this one, but I don't get to use it on the PS4 because I only have it technically on the PC, which is silly. But
yeah,
that's another conversation. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like we're getting there with the cross-play stuff. Hopefully, public consensus can push Sony to make this a reality. And then we don't have to worry about this.
When they get a good grasp of how much the bad press is, if the bad press actually affects their business, then yes. Yeah. If it does not affect their business, they won't care.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like, I don't know, like, say what you will about Fortnite, but they're in a weird way kind of enabling this kind of huge change maybe because they're doing...
Yeah.
This issue came up because of that game. And I think there was I think it was like sometime last year, there was actually a bug where they accidentally, in air quotes, enabled cross-platform play. So PS4 players were playing with Xbox players for a brief amount of time. And they had to, I guess, patch that out or fix whatever thing they did on the servers. And the fact that it is so easy to do that they just did it on accident, which I don't believe they did on accident. I think somebody in there was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking do it for a couple seconds. Let's see what happens.
Viva la revolution.
Yes, indeed. But other than that, I think the last thing we have here in news is that the Greatest Hits collection is coming back to the PlayStation 4, but this time it's going to be called PlayStation Hits instead of the Greatest Hits. Okay. Yeah, it is their line of reduced price games. They have a bunch of games for $20. Right now, the list contains, I'm not going to list every game in here, but some highlights are Bloodborne, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, Doom, which is great, Street Fighter 5, but I think that's the base version of the game, not arcade edition, so you just get vanilla Street Fighter 5. And actually the two Yakuza games that recently came out, Yakuza Kiwami and Yakuza 0, are on there as well, but all for $20, and I don't know if you guys are interested in picking any of these games up, but I don't know, it's kind of cool that's finally coming back with the red label.
I already have a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I got Bloodborne. I picked up Doom not that long ago. Picked up... I got Last of Us... I got Uncharted 4 because it came with the console.
Still haven't played it?
No.
I want to play 1 through 3, but this is yeah.
Have you not played?
I know you don't. No, okay. No, I haven't. I started playing 1 on PlayStation Now.
Okay.
But I just didn't get all the way through it. I was intrigued, but it's a lot of catch up to do.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of catch up.
And it's if you play 4, like you can get by like story wise just playing 4 now.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I
But
heard.
it will be hard to go back if you are curious about the other games because I don't know. I think 4 is just so much better in every regard.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. I'm like, am I just going to get into this and it's just going to be so, good and modern? And they, took all the stuff from their previous games to,
Well, then you just watch YouTube story mode.
That's true. I could even watch somebody play it on Twitch.
Or just play the best Uncharted game of the original trilogy and just play 2.
2? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2s are usually good.
Was that the one with or without the zombies?
They kind of all have zombies, sort of. At least the first 3. There's some supernatural element. The first one is actual zombies. The second one, there's these big blue Yeti people or something that are kind of scary. But yeah, there's some weird stuff in Uncharted.
Cool.
But yeah, PlayStation Hits is available now if you're interested in checking out some good old games. But I think that's it for headlines this week. And our last bit of business is some new releases. So I'm going to run down a couple of things that have been coming out. Playing a little bit of catch up since I missed last week. But this is also going to be a very condensed list. So kind of like the highlights of what has come out the past 2 weeks. So first up for the week of June 26th, we got Far Cry 3 Classic Edition for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm not sure what makes it classic. But there you are. Lumines Remastered came out last week for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That seems like a perfect Switch game. I don't know about you guys, but I miss me some Lumines. We also have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Donkey Kong Adventure DLC for the Switch. Nier Automata Become as Gods Edition. It's finally out for the Xbox One. The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit was released for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And I'm not sure if it's on all platforms, but on PC at least, it was released for free. And if you want to get ready for Life is Strange Season 2, that might be worth checking out. The Blob is now available on the Switch. And we got the...
Why not?
Why not?
Sure. Just put it on everything. We got a pair of those Play Dead games. So we got Inside for the Switch and also Limbo have been ported to the Switch. Inside is some creepy ass stuff is going on in that game, but I'm kind of happy it's on the Switch now. Maybe more people will play it. I hope. Yeah. Ikaruga 2. I'm sorry. Ikaruga. There's no sequel. I'm sorry. Is now out for the PlayStation 4. The sequel that did come out is The Crew 2, and that's out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And last week, finally, we had Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, was ported to the Switch. And then for this week, we got a couple of things. First up is Red Faction Guerrilla, Mars Turd Edition, because it's the remaster of Red Faction Guerrilla. Jesus, that name's a stretch. I don't love it. I feel icky saying it.
Why couldn't they have just remastered the original for Red Faction?
I don't know. Because maybe... I think more people played Guerrilla. Honestly.
Really?
But yeah, that was released for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Runbow is now out for PS4 and Switch. Samurai Showdown is out now. Samurai Showdown 5, Arcade Archives Neo Geo is out now for the Switch. And finally for this week, Night Trap 25th Anniversary Edition is getting a physical release for the Nintendo Switch.
Excuse me?
Yikes.
Yes.
Night Trap.
Night Trap, yep. Mm-hmm.
Now you can go sit on your toilet and play that
discussions
game.
about sexual assault in video games.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now it's portable.
On a Nintendo.
Yeah, they released this physical version a while back too, I think, for PS4 and PC as well. So now it's making its way to the Nintendo Switch. For all
My God.
all
Okay,
kids.
I understand that they're like, oh man, we should definitely explore these old games and re-release them, but Night Trap?
I don't know if it's...
Night
I know the
Trap?
first run was done by Limited Run Games. I don't know if this is the same company or if some other people took up the flag and like, hey, we're going to put this on the Switch. But yeah, it's out there.
Night Trap.
Hide your babies.
I mean, it's like... Hide your girls trying to have a sleepover.
Uh-huh. Oh, God.
Oh, wow. Okay, that fried my brain.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. But also, since it's the beginning of another month, we've got some stuff you can get with your various gaming subscriptions. So for this month, you can get with PlayStation Plus. If you have PlayStation Plus subscription for the month of July 2018, you can pick up Heavy Rain for, I believe,
Good
just
game.
a PlayStation 4. Probably the most tolerable of the Quantic Dream games. I'm not sure.
I think it's the only one played, right?
I think so. We didn't play Quantum.
Beyond Two Souls or Detroit.
Yeah,
Become
I played
Human.
Actually, I've heard a lot of good things about Detroit.
Yeah.
Though we had the problem where we went to look up a streamer, just being like, "Hey, let's see a clip." It was the freaking end. It was the end of the game.
Nice.
Yeah,
and they didn't know it. They didn't know it was the end of the game, so it wasn't labeled or anything because they didn't know it was coming.
Really?
He was approaching the events and everything, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, this is crazy. Oh man!" And all of a sudden, the credits roll. He was like, "Oh, this is the end."
Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
but Heavy Rain's all right. Press X to Jason.
Jason.
Also out for PlayStation Plus this month. Absolver is out for PlayStation 4.
I've been wanting to try that.
I have been too. It was on I almost pulled the trigger on the Steam sale. I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Same.
Now. So there we go.
I'm same. I don't know. It's just like one of those games I keep hearing. It's like one of those ones where you should have jumped in when it first came out because now people have mastered it. So you're just going to walk in and just get punked by grandmasters.
Mm-hmm. It seems super complex that, you want to have been there on the ground floor with everybody else. But I don't know. I'll bite the bullet for free. I'll check it out, see what happens.
Oh, yeah, for free. Why not?
Also out for PlayStation Plus this month, Extreme Exorcism for both the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4.
I don't even know what that is.
I'm not sure either.
It sounds extreme.
It's totally extreme. It's right there in the title. And it's got alliteration, so it's got that going for it too.
It does.
Space Overlords is also available for PlayStation Plus on the Vita. And finally, Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma, also for the Vita, will round out the PlayStation Plus releases this week, or this month. And then...
What's a Vita?
Oh man,
yeah, what is a Vita?
Sick burn.
I love Zero Escape. I like that series a lot, but I'm like, I'm not gonna get a Vita. It feels bad,
can't you
man.
play like Vita games on like PS4 or something?
No,
like that?
you could. I think you could. I don't know if you could do it with Vita, but I know for the PSP games, you could load them onto your PS3, but then connect the USB cable to your PSP and download them that way. You couldn't play them. But
yeah, I'm trying to remember because I remember Kojima had that whole thing. I don't remember what that was.
I don't remember, but I do have a PlayStation TV, so I can play Vita games that way. At least some of them, at least.
Yeah, you'll have to explain that to us sometime because I've looked at that thing. I was kind of curious.
Sure, we can chat afterwards. You can ask me anything. Anything. But for the Xbox side of things, if you have your gold subscription, Games with Gold this month, July 2018, you can pick up Assault Android Cactus for the Xbox One, which kind of looks like a pretty cool, like a bullet hell dual stick shooter, which I've been meaning to check out. But that you can pick up for the entirety of the month of July, from July 1st to the 31st. And also for the Xbox One, Death Squared, you can pick that up from July 16th through August 15th. And also out for Games with Gold this month, Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. I love this game. You can pick that up for both the Xbox One and the 360 for the first half of July, July 1st through the 15th. And then also for Games with Gold, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction.
Why does Tom Clancy make so many video games?
He is a very prolific man. He is. I don't know. I'm kind of curious now. I'm sure. And actually, I'm not curious because I pretty much know the answer. Is that who makes more games with their names on it? Is it Tom Clancy or Sid Meier?
Sid Meier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know about that.
It has to be Tom Clancy, right? Come on.
Yeah, it's got to be Tom. It's got to be Tom by this point. I mean, but unlike Sid Meier, Tom Clancy has like little to do with.
Oh yeah, he has nothing to do with the game. He's not even alive anymore, is he?
I don't know.
His son is still alive. His name is Tom, but was spelled differently. Weirdly, I think it's like THOM. But that is the last remaining Tom Clancy.
Tom.
Yes, Tom. Got to make it just different enough. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Splinter Cell's Conviction is out for both Xbox One and 360 with your gold subscription. on the back half of July 16th through the 31st. And that's going to do it for all our new releases for the week, and that's going to do it for this episode this week. So I want to thank you guys for coming on again, hanging out with me, and chatting video games.
Absolutely, anytime.
I'd be kind of curious to pick up Yakuza on that PlayStation Hits.
Right.
I've always been kind of curious about Yakuza.
Yeah, I got Yakuza 0 a while back, but I was hearing people say that you should play the first one before you play 0. So now Kiwami is available for PlayStation Hits. So I'm like, they just made it pretty easy to get that too.
Yeah, because I like Sleeping Dogs was like one of my favorite games in the past few years.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, if you like Sleeping Dogs, try Yakuza. It's sillier, but it's just... Sleeping Dogs, if you haven't tried Sleeping Dogs, do it. You will thank yourself.
I've been meaning to, it's on my Steam library. I think I even have it on PlayStation somewhere too, but yes, I need to...
Whatever one the one you have the definitive version
I think that's a Steam version.
Seriously.
Me. Yeah.
Once you get going and once you meet... I think her name was Mama Hong. Once you meet her, you will be so thankful you did.
Okay. But can you win a chicken in bowling and then have that chicken manage your like real estate ventures for the mob or whatever the hell it is you do in Yakuza?
Again, Yakuza's silly.
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs just has a damn good plot.
Yeah, okay.
A damn good plot. Like, out of games like, the GTA style kind of run around.
Yeah.
Yakuza, not Yakuza. Sleeping Dogs is like my favorite plot.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, because a lot of times the story's like whatever, you just kind of go from mission to mission. I don't care what's happening in the macro level.
No, this has a really good story.
That's dope. Excellent. Yeah, I have to definitely check that out. Finally pull the trigger and play that game.
Combat is fun.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
And they have a whole DLC that is 1970s Isle of Death Bruce Lee style. Like, they even put on, like, the filter to make it look like a 1970s movie.
Okay.
And that's how good the combat is, that they had faith that they could do that.
Amazing. Okay, you have sold me on Sleeping Dogs. I will finally play that game, hopefully this year. I can't make any promises.
Right.
Because the backlog is deep. Jesus.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you again, guys, for coming. Where can people interested in your work find that work and maybe support you guys?
Well, you can check out our website where we sell our cool kind of pixel art related stuff at www.geekmythologycrafts.com. And if you're interested in watching me make some of that stuff, you can watch me on Twitch TV. That's twitch.tv/Geek Mythology Crafts. And I'm also on Twitter at geek_mythology.
All right, awesome.
And for me, I have a Facebook page for my drawing commissions that are mostly D&D or whatever based, which is www.facebook.com/JRBrabson, BRABSON. And my Twitch, I don't care.
You don't care? I can link it for you if you'd like in the show notes.
Sure.
We gotta get him streaming some more.
Twitch.com/GutsMcGirt.
Guts McGirt. All right. Excellent. And with that, I guess if you want to check out our stuff, you want to check the Good Games podcast. Well, God, I can't even talk anymore. You want to check out more of the Good Games podcast, check out our home over at innercitygeeks.com. You can find out all the archives there and show notes for everything that we've talked about and here and in the past. You can follow this show on Twitter at Good Game Podcast. And if you got any burning questions or suggestions for the show or anything, I don't know, you just want to say, hey, what's up, and don't want to do it in a public matter, you can shoot us an email over at goodgamespodcast@gmail.com. And I think that'll do it for this episode. And until next week, guys, good games.
Good games.
Good games.